A lovely morning, Nigeria. Lovely morning, Africa. You're welcome to another educative episode of Tea or Coffee. My name is Wuraola Popola, and here with me in the studio I have...
From Cashier. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
It's a lovely day today.
Sure.
And today being a Wednesday, a Wellness Wednesday, it's all about your health. And your health does not mean the physical only, but also your mental situation. So for today we have a doctor in the house and a psychiatrist who's going to talk to us about stress, depression, and suicide. Let's go on a break, and when we come back, we'll introduce the doctor to you. Have a thrilling and bonding experience at High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort. Enjoy an amazing retreat in our extremely secured environment with our breathtaking rides. Set goals for the upcoming year in our convenient multi-purpose halls. Bond between team members while giving your staff a desirable treat. High Impact Planet. Fun just got real. Welcome back. Like I was saying, we have a doctor in the house. The doctor is a consultant psychiatric and clinical psychologist, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba. His name is Dr. Richard Ademola Adebayo. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
That word sounds so long, neuropsychiatry.
Yes.
So that has to do with nerves and...
Yeah, the brain generally.
The brain.
And behavior of human being.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's this issue that have been bothering a lot of people because people say they are stressed up. We don't even actually, if you have to break down stress, what is stress?
Well,
generally?
Let's look at it this way. Stress is a daily occurrence as old as mankind. Mm-hmm. Let's look at it as the culmination of challenges you pass through. It can be seen as physiological and psychological responses to some of the challenges we pass through on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So stress is set to occur now in the negative aspects of it when your coping mechanism, your coping strategy seems not sufficient enough to take care of the hassles of life you pass through on a daily basis. Yeah, From what I have said, you can also make something out of that stress can also be useful. Yes. So there's a positive phase of stress. Okay, that is good, that you need some kind of pushing, so to say, in order to achieve your goals in life. Okay. Without any form of stress at all, you may not be able to attain your goals. Okay. So for you to leave your house in the morning, Monday morning, and go to office and make something meaningful, out of your existence, you need to get out of your comfort zone, so to say. Yeah. So you will have to pass through some things. And you need this as a tonic to keep you going. But you get to a stage that a level of exposure to all these challenges may overwhelm one's coping mechanism. Your coping strategy may not be the same thing with mine. Yes. So when you get to a stage that you are being overwhelmed, and it's telling on your body and telling on your mind, you say, oh, this thing is stressful. That is becoming distressful to the body. Okay. That's the negative aspects of stress. Yes. And that's oftentimes the one we refer to as stress.
All right. Okay.
The negative aspect of stress.
The negative aspect, which is actually distressful.
Which is very distressful. But we should not forget that there's also a positive aspect that we all need in order to be able to achieve our goals in life.
All right. Okay, so when is that point? Because I can tell you that some people don't know when it's time to stop, when it becomes negative. Because I'm talking from experience.
Yes, yes.
So what is that signs that will let you know that, okay, you are doing too much, you need to slow down now?
Exactly. No, the breaking point in you may not be exactly my own breaking point.
Yes.
So you must be able to understand yourself. Maybe later on when we talk about management of stress, we'll need to also refer to this. Because what is stressful to you, negatively now, may not be stressful to me.
Yes.
An individual may be able to move from my 2 to my 12 on a daily basis.
Yes.
And it's fun. To another person, it may not be.
Okay.
So what is stressors? I mean, those stressors, that is those things that tends to aggravate negative stress in us, may differ. Okay. What is stressful to you may not be stressful to me. My causes of stress may not be your own causes of stress.
Yes.
An individual can be your stressor. A spouse can be the one that is causing you stress.
Okay.
Your neighbor may be the one that is causing
okay, my
that's
God.
your stressor. So it's not all the time that it has to be something far away.
Yeah.
It may also be nature of your work. It may also be what you pass through in order to go to work. It may be your neighborhood. It may be internal factors. It may be external factors that is causing the stress or aggravating the stress.
All right.
So invariably, what you experience, you must be able to see yourself. You understand yourself. That's very key in stress. Because someone can look at you and say, this job is stressful to you. And to you, it's okay. Mm-hmm. All right? What you consider as an hobby, some people may see that, this thing is too much for you. You're a lady. You should not be doing this. It's for a man's job or whatever, Yeah. It's a man's calling. But you feel okay. You're okay. So when do you know that this circumstance or this event or these people are becoming stressful to you? You must be able to understand yourself and how your body works. So you tend to have some health challenges. There's so many symptoms of stress. Okay. Sleep, alteration in your sleep. Okay, you can't relax again. You begin to have symptoms all over your body, or you begin to have emotional turmoil. That may be an evidence that, yes, you need to take a break or you need to readjust your life. And then you must also understand that sometimes the stressors, that is what is causing this stress, may not all that be negative events sometimes. Even positive events can also cause stress for you. You are planning a wedding and you are moving up and down for months. You want to ensure that everything is put in the right perspective. Positive events, but it may be a form of stress. A woman is pregnant, and that pregnancy has been causing one problem or the other, vomiting today and all that, ill health here and there. That pregnancy may be stressful to her. And you agree with me, it's a positive event.
Yes.
That a woman is pregnant.
But in such a
if
case...
she desired it, anyway.
Okay.
But positive events, positive things, sometimes can also lead to stress if you are not careful. Or aggravates existing stress.
Okay, in such a case, let's use like the pregnant woman as an example. What will she be advised to let go of the pregnancy?
No, definitely no. We will not say that.
So
unless medically, required.
All right.
If it's between life and death, and the doctor feel that something has to be done in order to salvage the life of the mother, that's a different ball game. Okay. But generally, positive events, planning a wedding or getting pregnant, or planning a positive event, you don't have to jettison that. But you need to understand that how do you manage the situation.
All right.
If it's like the example you gave, the pregnancy, the person may need to see doctor and do all the necessary tests and follow medical instructions.
All right.
Or probably have bed rest.
Okay.
Sometimes. It may not just be medication, but doctor may advise that, madam, you need to rest. So that
forget about office for the next 1 week.
Sometimes more than a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, apart from stress, we're also touching other areas like depression and suicide.
Yes.
So at what point do people get to and realize that they are depressed?
Yeah, that's a good question, because depression is very common in our environment. And sometimes someone may be depressed, may not actually know that he or she is depressed. Depression is very common. up to 25% of the population can at one point or the other, come down with depression. Okay. What is really depression? Depression is an affective disorder. It's an emotional disorder in a layman's way. And the core symptoms of depression is that the mood is low. The mood, the tone of emotion is low. If you rate yourself, okay, from being sad to happy, to being happy, and I ask you to rate yourself from 0 to 10. 0 being very sad, 10 being very happy, okay? You definitely give yourself a score. That's when you are still in the realm of reality, okay? Because sometimes you may get to a stage and the individual might have lost reality and may not be aware that something is going on in the brain again. I'm talking about my depression, that an individual is still in contact with reality. You should be able to rate yourself, not using coping mechanism, not using defense mechanism that I'm okay in Jesus' name. It's my enemy that is sick. I'm not referring to such circumstance now that we are just using our faith to just mask, in reality. How have you been feeling in the last 2 weeks? Not just in a day or two. Yeah. All right? Sadness sometimes is part of life. You fail an exam, I don't expect you to start jubilating around. Otherwise, I will label you with another diagnosis. If you fail an exam or something negative happened and you are just excited and you are so happy and you are jumping up and down, people will say, watch it. Maybe this person is sick.
Yes.
But something not too pleasant, not too good happened. It is natural for an individual to feel low. Okay. And it's natural for someone's mood to go down for a couple of days. After that, you should be able to buckle up again and bounce back and move on with your life.
Okay.
So that's why this low mood is not just for 2 or 3 days, at least 2 weeks. From our diagnosis, the diagnostic criteria. An individual must have been having low mood for about 2 weeks. And then there are another core symptoms, which we call anhedonia. Anhedonia means, in a layman's way, those activities, those pleasurable activities you've indulged yourself and you, in the past, that gives you joy, those events, but they no longer give you that pleasure again.
Yes.
Maybe you like watching TV in the past. You can be there glued to your TV for hours.
Yes.
But now, you don't just feel like doing that.
So can we...
You feel like going out before for shopping and all that, but that doesn't really trigger anything in you again. We said the person is having anhedonia. Those are 2 core symptoms of depression. But definitely there are other symptoms. Like alteration in your sleep, having weepy spurs, being fatigued, low energy, sometimes irritable, and it can become severe. Depression can be mild, moderate, or severe. When it becomes severe, that person definitely is already in the woods.
Okay. So is it possible for stress to lead to depression?
Yes, stress can lead to depression, but not in everybody. Okay. Some people will be undergoing very stressful conditions without, caving into depression. But for those who would succumb to depression, yes. Chronic depression especially. Chronic stress can lead to depression.
All right, okay.
So can we refer to depression as a mental illness?
Definitely. The answer is yes. Depression is not orthopedic problem.
Yeah.
It's psychiatric.
Because when people hear mental illness, they make it seem like,
yes.
And is one of the commonest mental disorders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depression does not necessarily mean an individual is mad. No. No. But when it becomes severe, then it may be associated with psychotic symptoms. The individual now has lost his mind, so to say, and begin to hallucinate, hearing voices in clear consciousness that the others around him or her can hear.
Spirit-filled.
Or having delusions, strange beliefs, believing that you are the cause of a problem.
All right.
When there's no evidence to prove that. That's one aspect. Sometimes depression can be severe without psychotic symptoms, but the person begins to have suicidal tendency. Suicide is on the increase now.
Yes.
And 80% of cases of people who commit suicide, you can link the causative factor as depression.
Okay. Right. So most times when you discover typhoid fever symptoms, you're told to go to the laboratory for scan or test.
Yes.
So is there a particular way depression can be diagnosed?
That's interesting. A lot of people who are experiencing stressful conditions, we started with stress, or those who are having some mental health problems, oftentimes they also have physical complaints, bodily complaints. We call it somatic complaints too. Somatic means body, headache today, feeling dizzy, pains, migratory pains here, heat in the body, feeling hot. But when you check the temperature, it's normal. Heaviness in the head, something's crawling here and there, crawling sensations. So oftentimes our people will go and see doctors, and they ask to go and run some laboratory tests for malaria and typhoid most of the time. Okay? Oftentimes, nothing is found. So they keep on taking anti-malaria drugs, or they keep on taking the typhoid drugs.
Wow.
But all the symptoms will not abate. Sometimes, maybe a little. And then within a week or two, they are back again. It's all these complaints again. So they feel that...
At what point
Yeah.
Is it that the doctor that has been treating will now refer them to the appropriate...
Well, the truth is that personnel. You can't refer all depressed patients to this Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital or any other psychiatric department. I told you earlier that up to 25% of the population can experience depression at one point or the other. So it's not possible to refer 25% of the population. Let's say even half of that, 12.5%. You can't refer them to...
Yes.
The hospital will be jam-packed. So general practitioners can manage some level of depression. Most of the time, the people we see are those with very complicated chronic cases. But a medical practitioner, a general medical practitioner, can handle some mild to moderate forms of depression.
Okay.
So there's no laboratory tests anyway. No blood test or urine test as of today that can diagnose depression.
So what are the normal things, small things that we can do at home to manage this?
Yes.
Both stress and depression.
Yes. I also need to emphasize an aspect of it. I don't want us to go out of this place with the impression that stress will all the time cause depression. Depression can be genetic in origin. It can be due to our genetics.
All right.
It can be inherited. That's what I'm trying to say. Like hypertension, like diabetes.
Like diabetes?
Yeah.
Depression can be inherited?
Yes, it can run in the family.
Oh.
It can be through the DNA.
Oh.
Okay, so is
That's
there...
tough.
So we need to understand that it's not everybody that... I said it earlier, that it's not everybody that's undergoing stressful condition that will come down with depression. But for an individual that is naturally vulnerable, naturally predisposed to developing depression, okay? When that person is now undergoing stressful condition, can easily
become depressed.
Get into the troubled waters of depression.
Okay. So,
and the causes of depression also, we said is biopsychosocial.
Okay.
When you say biopsychosocial, I've combined
2 words.
3 things together.
Okay.
Biological causes.
Yes.
Okay. Biological causes, that's part of what I said earlier, the genetics, the inheritability of it. Okay. And some changes in the body too. Biological changes in the body can make an individual to come down with depression later. All right? Like thyroid disorders, endocrine problems, like post-stroke, an individual that has had stroke, and after a while, yes, that person can come down with depression. So there are so many biological factors that can make an individual to come down with depression. Then there's psychological, out of that biopsychosocial, psychological factors, bonding, family issues, upbringing, those things you pass through when you are growing up. You understand me? Even your personality type, can make you to succumb to depression. So psychological factors.
All right.
Then social factors. That's why I say biopsychosocial.
All right. You have to hold that thought as we go on a break. Right. So you said social factor can also cause depression.
Yes.
All right. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we will continue on what depression and stress is all about and how to manage them. Welcome back. We've been talking with Dr. Richard Ademola Adebayo, the consultant, psychiatric and clinical psychologist from Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, and he's been telling us all about stress, depression, and suicidal thoughts. And joining us in the studio also is the Assistant Corps Commander, Kende Hamzat, from Unit Commander, Mowe Unit Command, Federal Road Safety Corps, that's FRSC. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Or is there, how do we address? Just sir is okay.
It's okay.
All right, you're welcome. Yes, doctor was talking before we went on break about the social.
Yes, I was taking the biopsychosocial courses.
Yes.
I would talk about the biological and psychological. And I said social courses too.
Yes.
Okay. Unemployment, social issue, noise pollution. Now, you are coming from work around 11 p.m., no light in your street.
Oh.
And your generators your neighbors have put on their generators.
Nice.
And then you can't
noise pollution.
Sleep. So noise pollution, overcrowding, even poverty, lack of job and all that. All this one can make an individual to succumb to depression. Okay? Famine, war. Can you imagine what happens in some parts of this country?
Yes.
Where people are denied, their rights to go to their works or to be with their families. Kidnapping all over the place. Right. Ritual, cultism and all that. Okay. The effect of this on people, they are social issues.
All right.
Okay. Unstable economy too. You would probably like to add that to it too. Okay. But these are factors too that can make an individual, especially those who are even naturally vulnerable, to actually now go into depression.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Commander, let me ask. Is there a way, when you see some people driving and you stop them, is there a way to measure if that person is depressed? Some people, they are so depressed that they drive recklessly, right, doctor?
Sure. An individual is depressed can become absent-minded and not able to concentrate or be attentive.
And then cause accidents, So is there a measure put in place to check whether this person is depressed, through maybe the way they drive or maybe when they come to collect driver's license or something?
Yeah, thank you very much. Tea and coffee, let me take a little.
All right.
Mike. Now,
thank you.
You see, there are a lot of situations. Like this morning when I was coming.
Yes.
Around Oremeji, around the construction area.
Yes.
It was a serious traffic gridlock caused by a broken down vehicle. And of course, you don't expect those people who are in traffic to live there and be happy. Definitely, they will be stressed and go through depression. So when they meet our people on the road, now, they try to save time. The time wasted here, definitely they try to save it all in the name of trying to beat up time and thereby overspeeding at certain point in time. When they meet our people, they are not ready to listen to anybody because they have wasted a hell of time during the period of their journey. Definitely, you need somebody who is psychologically sound to be able to assess and understand the situation that, okay, this is what this man is going through. So the best you could do is calm that man, talk to him over a period of time before he even continues the journey. Because with that kind of mindset, he could even crash the vehicle and crash himself along. So these are some of the things that most of our officers are trained to monitor and look at people when they stop them, the way they behave.
Okay.
They assess them, then they think if, we don't just issue tickets to people because you have violated. There are instances that circumstances could have caused you to. So we calm you down. In fact, people start imagining drunk drivers.
Yes.
When we see them, definitely we observe the way they behave.
Yes.
We keep some of these people. We don't allow them continue driving.
Yes.
And the same way, if we discover that the level of depression is so high that I don't think it is safe to continue driving, I might impound your car, keep you in the office, not with the intention of giving you ticket or issuing you fines, but with the intention of calming you down, talking to you over a period of time. With that, I think the person will calm down and can still continue the journey safely, averting whatever crash that may, the potential crash that may be awaiting such person.
Okay. Has there been a time that you refer them to maybe another hospital?
Yes, very well. You see, Nigerians, there are ways we look at things when a particular agency of government is trying. There was a time we referred to somebody. You can imagine somebody, normal thinking human being, will be driving against traffic. Then you start imagining, is this person sane?
Exactly.
So at that point, you send them for psychiatric evaluation.
All right.
To be sure if they are really sound, if it is their health situation or the situation that arises as at that time. So you don't just allow them go. But you see, Nigerians gave an outcry over a period of time that, how would you tell somebody who naturally that had no mental, how do you assess? How do you say somebody is mentally derailed if you don't take such person for mental evaluation? So, but we still refer them to for medical evaluation in terms of depending on the way they behave.
All right.
Okay, we've heard stories of people jump over bridges. We've heard stories of people committing suicide. So are there strategic points where you have your officials to oversee the activities on the road?
You see, somebody who is trying to commit suicide will do it when there are no people. Would monitor situations. A situation where you do it where you can be rescued, which means you are not really ready for the suicide. It could only be coincidental if you are being rescued. Maybe somebody somewhere just observe it from a distance and come to your rescue. But many a times, those people who commit suicide will not do that at the instance of anybody. They do it in a secret form, such that nobody sees them and they can perpetrate that conveniently. You can imagine, was it last month or 2 months ago, when somebody just plunged into the lagoon. You can start imagining what is the mental level of that person, what actually caused it. And we start giving different, until that person is seen alive. Then you can start asking questions. What could have led to this? Then you can think of averting other ones. But a situation where you cannot rescue such person, it is difficult to interpret what actually caused him or her to actually do such.
Okay. Doctor, some of the leaflets of drugs prescription, you see that some they write can lead to depression.
Yeah.
So what and how would you know that this particular person that is being given this particular medicine, and then how do you know that it is right for the person and it's fit that the person will not get depressed using the medications? Because at the end of the day, if the person is depressed, trying to solve a problem and then accruing another to the system, how does that work?
Well, let me respond to that. And if I have time, I can also maybe contribute to what our road safety experts have also talked about. Talking about drugs, generally, you have what we call the OTC drugs, over-the-counter drugs.
Yes.
And you have
special
drugs that have to be prescribed by doctors. Okay? Look, both OTC and the other prescription drugs, they have side effects.
Yes.
But specialist medications supposed to be prescribed by doctors.
Yes.
And it should be for certain duration. all right? But in this part of the world, people would abuse that. A drug that is meant for a week or two, no, they begin to abuse it.
Overdose on it.
Habitual users of those drugs. It shouldn't be. Even when a depressed patient is on medication, there are instructions that we usually give to them. If I think an individual is close to being suicidal, the whole pack of the drugs should not be given to that individual. Otherwise, sometimes they also use these drugs also to commit suicide. They swallow all the drugs and thinking that, they will sleep off and just die off like that. It shouldn't be.
Okay.
You
say you want to add?
Yes, I just want to say there's a relationship between stress and problems on the road.
Yes.
Road rage is one. An individual who has been caught up in the traffic for hours, and it seems our wonderful people here have now made a way out for everybody for us to start moving. Instead of going orderly, in an orderly fashion, you see all kind of things. And before you know it, you see somebody in suits, getting out of the vehicle and then starts throwing verbal abuses at other motorists. Or sometimes,
throwing punches.
Throwing punches on the way. Road rage, it can happen. There's also a relationship between use of psychoactive substances, and road traffic accidents or problems too, So an individual who is trying to cope with the level of stress, that there's some of our people, especially motorists, commercial motorists especially, because of the hours of driving and the stress they pass through. In the evening, they'll go to one chemist. They'll buy about 4 or 5 types of tablets, pain relievers, tramadol, all kind of things, codeine. They put them together. That once they use these ones, they are okay, can't pay for the following morning, But this will have effects.
Okay.
The sense of judgment will be impaired. So you see such people, they may now be doing driving against traffic and all that, They are under the influence of psychoactive substance like cannabis, that's Indian hemp, and some other drugs I talk about, and that is dangerous too.
Yeah.
Now, asking them to come for evaluation. Yes, if you know that someone is an habitual, offender, okay, we start wondering, is this one normal? Those people can be asked to go for tests. In the developed worlds, you can even on the road test their level of alcohol from the breaths,
Don't say in the developed world. Do we have that?
No, we do.
Yes, that's good. That's a good development.
This is developed.
That's good. We are developing.
Yeah.
So
we are developing.
We can estimate, have a rough estimate of what they are abusing. And of course, those people are dangerous to themselves and dangerous to other road users.
Yes.
Okay. Agreed. But what we kick against as psychiatrists in the past is that, an individual is driving or having a first offense against, driving and all that, and Yaba left. So we feel that it's a way of discriminating.
Okay.
Or it's a way of stigmatizing.
Okay.
A criminal is a criminal.
Right.
But we should not stigmatize people like that because it can also have negative effects on people that, it's only those who commit traffic offenses that have been asked to go to Yaba left.
I would like to ask.
That's the area where we have issues.
I'd like to, Commander, is there any way that, or any sensitization that you do to let the public know about some of the rules and regulations for the road users?
Thank you. You see, starting from the issue of driver's license.
Yes, sir.
Before you even obtain your driver's license, you were taken through public education to be able to know the do's and don'ts on the road.
Some people cram.
It's not something you prepare for. The cramming does not work. You cram when you know what you will be asked. But it's not a question and answer session. It's a situation where you will be taken through some classes. And having done that, if you are a commercial driver, there's no way you would be given a commercial driver's license without a proper medical report that I am fit.
For a commercial driver?
For commercial drivers. Yeah. Because one person transporting 10, 15, 100 of passengers, you should be very, very sure of that person before handing such authority because that is giving him the authority to say you can drive so class of vehicle, you should be able to drive them to safety.
Is that once in a lifetime test?
No,
every time
you want to renew that license, you still go back for medical evaluation, and definitely there will be a medical certificate attached.
Mental is part of it?
Everything encompassing.
Okay.
So we check everything. So we'll start from that end. Then for a private driver, you cannot just wake up one day and say, I want a commercial driver's license. You must have gone through private driving,
yes,
at least to gain or gather experience. And it may interest you to know that somebody less than 26 years of age cannot drive commercial vehicle in Nigeria, because we discover that many of them, those truck drivers, some of them are children, and they are being followed with these juvenile delinquencies, which we try to take away. So by the time you must have taken the private driver's license, you renew the private driver's license, then you can now be qualified to obtain the commercial driver's license. So at that point, we had done an initial training at the point of giving you authority to drive. Now, when you know how to drive, we call something domesticated public enlightenment. We go to churches because we discover that not all people drive. Some people are chauffeur-driven. They sit down there, they should be able to tell their drivers one or two things. So we go to churches, we go to mosques, because initially we used to go to just motor parks. But we discovered that only few people are within the motor parks. So, but a lot of people go to churches. They go to mosques. We go to social places where we will have maybe your town hall meeting. We meet you there, we talk to you. We meet you, even the artisans, we talk to them. We will not stop at that. We do preloading activity. That is preload activity at motor park. Before they go, we'll do some examination on their vehicle.
All right.
We do that often. And during some of these festive periods, we do more of it. So that, you know, some people had not driven for years. Some vehicles that had not gone out of the garage over a period of time, people put it on the road, thereby developing unnecessary faults. Vehicles you have not tested over time. So some of these we tell members of the public to know that these are the onions, to know their onions during the course of driving. So in terms of public education, I think I will not be here to start grading or rating our organization, but I think we have gone very, very far.
Okay. And one thing I noticed is that when the drivers, they see your vehicle, they behave at that particular time. Even if they've been driving rough, they behave. But the thing is for them to have it at the back of their mind that at every point in time, even when your vehicles are not anywhere near, for them to still be able to do the right thing. That is why, you know, I asked about the knowledge, if it's been shared. But very good.
Attitude is a change we need.
Yes.
There are good drivers out there.
Yes.
But with bad attitude. So attitude is what we work on when we give this public enlightenment. You can imagine, we even go to schools. When your child tells you, Mommy, please fasten your seatbelt.
Yeah.
Daddy, please, I'm not supposed to sit on the front seat.
Yes.
You see, catching them young also helps. So we will not limit it to schools. You know, we have a road safety club members who are core members who will still go into the larger society.
Okay.
We teach them more of safety activities so that they will learn and be better person when it comes to driving culture within the society.
All right. Our time is fast spent. Doctor, how do we manage stress and depression?
Well, how to manage our stress? First, you must understand yourself.
Yes.
And be driven by at your own pace, you know, not trying to be another person.
Okay.
You know, set your priorities, all right?
Okay.
Achievable, reasonable priorities. Not that you want to be like another person. Your friend has just bought a brand new car, so you also must buy your own this year. And then you begin to run, you know, with that person's speed. You don't have the same personality. Your body does not function the same way. So you just have to be very careful. So you know, understand yourself. You cannot answer everybody. You know, you cannot grant them their request. Maybe you occupy a significant position in your family. Everybody look up to you, you know, to solve their problems here and there. Okay? So instead of you running from pillar to post, you must be able to understand that when you say yes, you mean yes.
Okay.
And there will be times that you have to say no.
All right.
All right?
Okay.
So delegate duties if it's possible. Okay?
Yes.
Take time also and learn how to relax.
Okay.
That's a culture that we have not really imbibed here. You know, you come back from work and then your bedroom is the extension of your office. It shouldn't be.
Okay. One last question.
And then relaxation exercise, going holiday, lifestyle modification too, diets, and it's very key there.
Okay. One last question. Is there an age bracket that is prone to depression and stress?
Yeah, depression can affect anybody. Even we see children who are depressed. And sometimes people will ask, why are they thinking?
Are they married?
Are they married? Are they thinking of paying house rent or whatever? Children can have depression.
Yeah.
Teenagers have their own uniqueness, you know, with depression. And the way it manifests may differ from adults. Yeah. Adults can have depression too. Elderly ones who are closer to their graves can also come down with depression too. Okay. So depression can cut across the age groups. But it seems depression seems to be more prevalent in females than males.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Is there anything you would like to tell the general masses that are listening now about their safety?
I just wish to tell them that they should drive carefully, obey all traffic rules and regulations, and when we see little traffic gridlock, we should avoid going through one way. It's, I simply call it madness.
Okay, madness.
The effect of that one way could lead to loss of life.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. All right. I've heard the effect of one way, breaking the rules can lead to loss of lives. And then to fight over stress and depression, understand yourself, delegate duty, relax, and then lifestyle modification. All right. Thank you very much for coming on today's episode. We've been talking with Dr. Richard Ademola, consultant, psychiatrist, clinical psychologist, Federal Neuropsychiatric. I don't know why that word. Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. And also we've been talking with Assistant Corps Commander, Kehinde Hamzat, Unit Commander, Mowe Unit Command, FRSC. I guess the Mowe axis is the busiest in Nigeria, right?
Well, I want to say Lagos-Ibadan.
Lagos-Ibadan.
Together.
Expressway is the busiest, okay, from FRSC, Federal Road Safety Corps. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. We really appreciate the two of you for shedding more light on what a lot of people have been talking about, deliberating about. So I hope to see you next time when we call on you. Thank you so much. And for the depression, we know it's a big subject that we need to talk about. We need to have a full episode on that. And also for the road. And for the road users also. Thank you very much. So that's it on today's episode of Tea or Coffee. Make sure you have fun, relax, and also be a good driver. Have a nice day. I'm Ronke Ashiru.
And I am Wuraola Popola.
All right, bye.